Hey friends, today we are talking library books. I'm going to review these 5 books for you guys. Originally, I told you that I wanted to read Karen Roberts' Darkness, and I started reading it. But then I did my library book haul where I was able to find like I think it was 6 or 7 Charles Todd books, and I wanted to read one to know if I was actually going to enjoy them. So I swapped it out with this instead. I'll go back and finish that another day. We're going to be looking at Karen Harper's Shallow Grave. It's Charles Todd, No Shred of Evidence. This plastic slip is kind of funky, so I'm going to be taking this one off. But all of the covers are gorgeous. Ruth Ware's The It Girl. So exciting to find really awesome books at the library for $2 and hardcovers. That's awesome. This one had a plastic slip on it. I did take it off because it was super ratty, but the cover is perfect. The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. Look at that. $2, guys. And then The Lying Room by Nietzsche French. This is such a cool, cute looking book. All right, so we are going to be taking a look at all 5 of these and see what I thought about them. And I'll try to keep it fairly quick for you. Here we have Karen Harper's Shallow Grave. I'm going to dip into my handy dandy little book journal here that I got from Dollar Tree. These are adorable. They were $1.50 and they're perfect for brain dumping after you finish a book. So I'm just basically going to read to you what I rated it if I took the time to rate it, and then read to you what I said. Shallow Grave is rated 3.25 for me because it was good enough to entertain you, like watching a series that jumps from a problem to another problem, from episode to episode. There were a lot of characters, a lot of storylines to follow all the way to the end, and it just added more things. For example, the situations that we cover in this book, there are suicide by lion, divorce, pregnancy, military bonds, taxidermy, trafficking, criminal father elements, and more. Like, there is a lot going on in this book. Unfortunately for me, the way it was unraveling, I am someone who likes to have a big reveal, full conclusion, amazing, mind-blowing moment. And I felt like since there were so many different things going on, that it was kind of less impactful. And I felt like there wasn't like a grand situation that we just came full circle to and had some kind of closure and like great reveal. It was a good story. It was entertaining. And if you like that kind of jump around plot with different characters coming in and different things happening, then I would recommend this book. For me, I just want a bigger bang for my buck. Next, we're going to take a look at The It Girl by Ruth Ware. I was super excited when I found this in the library. It looks so cool. It's in fantastic condition. Look at this book. It's beautiful and it's wrapped, so my cover is probably pristine under there. Super exciting to have this in my library. This one, I gave it a 4.25 stars. Let me just read to you what I said. It said, let me start by saying this. I don't like banter, which I really don't. If I read a modern type mystery or story and there's like a lot of banter and dialogue, but it's kind of like not deep or doesn't have much of a purpose, it's annoying. Like, I can't do it. It's annoying to me. I need depth. I need a story. I need to go deep. I need it to be a part of someone's personality so I can get to know them and not so much just filler banter. Anyway, it says, I don't like unnecessary dialogue that goes nowhere in a story, but I understand that it is necessary to tell a story. Ruth Ware has a way of writing the background, mundane dialogue of a mystery in a way that keeps me invested and makes me feel like a fly on the wall to a crime. It's different. I love it. I really enjoy the way this book was written and clearly jumped back and forth on the timeline in a way that made me enjoy the unraveling. I enjoyed the twist, even though leading to the end really pissed me off. And when you think it's over, it's not. Okay, so in this one, we are following a group of friends, and there's a death in the group. And everybody is trying, of course, to solve the mystery. Who did it? How did it happen? What happened? But as we are doing that, we're getting to hear the perspectives, as any mystery, with all of the characters involved. The different characters have different character experiences with this person who passes. And I enjoy how, as we're retelling and jumping on the timeline to these different situations happening at different times, that it's kind of happening in a way where you feel like you're watching as the incident or the moments are actually unfolding. And that's what makes it interesting, because there's like suspense there. And that's what I really enjoy about her writing. That's what she puts you in a place where it doesn't seem pointless, and there's purpose to it, and there's dialogue, but it's necessary even whenever it's just a mundane situation. I do enjoy this book. I enjoy the way it unraveled. I enjoy the way everybody had their own perspective about this person who passed. I enjoyed how we branched out on those conversations and situations and then somehow just intertwined and all mingled back together. Highly recommend. I loved this book. So we're going to take a look at The Lying Room by Nietzsche French. This one, I did rate it 4 stars. And the 3 words to describe it were twisty, turny, and good. This one was good, even with a short glimpse into the peaceful, stressless possibility of an affair, then boom, a murder. After that, of course, we were following multiple characters as the whodunit begins to unfold. But that's what's good about this one, is that it makes you weigh your consequences of your affair coming out into the open. As we move, there's multiple directions you think the story could go, but does it? Can it? The twists and turns, OMG, are so good. There's a weird dynamic that is lingering for the purpose of keeping the characters close together that I could have done without, but it wasn't enough to make me not want to know. Really good. So I think I gave this one a 4 because it is a little slower pace. She's very chill, which means there's not like a lot of high intense moments where you're just like feeling chaotic or feeling like things are unraveling really fast. Everything is kind of slow paced, kind of calm, kind of timid and chill. But the story is great. Everything unravels. The only thing I didn't like was that dynamic of having to keep the characters together. So the storyline that was kind of going along with that, I could have totally done without. Maybe there could have been a different way to make them have to stay around each other. Just the way the purpose was kind of like, like we can see that this is made to keep the story, the characters together. You know, it would have, if it felt more natural, that wouldn't have bothered me so much. But this was a really good book. I do highly recommend. It was a great read, a good little mystery. And the characters that like you start to think are doing it, there's several of those. You have several moments where you're like, is it so and so? Isn't so and so? And then I like that because it that's where the twists and turns come in. Highly recommend. Next, we have The Woman in the Window by AJ Finn. This kind of took me on a roller coaster ride. It was a little frustrating and I actually enjoyed it a lot. This one I rated 3.75 stars, and there's a big reason why. I'll let you know why, but it says frustrating, intriguing, and surprising. The most surprising moment was the who. She gets on my nerves. Basically, that sums up at least 74% of this book. There's nothing like an all talk, do as I say, not as I do, be. But she experienced trauma, so I get it. We're following a psychiatrist that cannot leave her house because of her condition. As we get to watch her live and observe, her ways of doing things begin to get really weird. You start to see all of her instability, and it makes you wonder why or how did she get to this point. Then you're sucked into her crazy lady shenanigans as she obsesses with people watching from her window. As people begin to penetrate her life, there's an incident that she witnesses or didn't witness. As we follow different people, you're like, what is literally happening? And just when you think you got it, nope, there's another twist. The only reason I gave it a 3.75 is because I really didn't care for the main character. It's really hard to fully enjoy a book if the main character is just pissing me off. It's because when a main character is weak or when a main character isn't doing anything to progress, it kind of pisses me off. But then I have to remember there is a time frame for when people experience trauma that they are like that and they have to work through that trauma to get to the other side. So all of that can't be portrayed perfectly in a book, and you kind of have to be patient with the character. So I was patient with the character, and had it been a little quicker, it probably wouldn't have bothered me so much. But it just took so long for this character to just woman up, and that's what got me the most. That's what bothered me the most. But the overall story was really good. So if you've ever dealt with a manipulator, with a psychopath, then it starts to get really interesting for you, and it becomes very relatable, and it gets crazy, and it starts to twist and turn, and I love it. I loved the ending. I loved the build up to the ending, like about halfway through dealing with all of her shenanigans. As soon as you start to turn that point, you're like, okay, I can get through the story because the story becomes more interesting than the main character. So I do recommend this book. You just have to put that in perspective and deal with her along with the story. So next is Charles Todd, No Shred of Evidence. I wanted to like be in absolute love with this book because I bought 6 of them and I had already some that I found at Dollar Tree. I didn't hate it, but the thing is I read it and I didn't even come and do a review for it. It was good. It was good. I mean, it was a good mystery, but it's very slow paced. Very, like, if you imagine one of those like British mystery shows, no offense to the British, but you know, Americans are like high adrenaline and aggressive and things like that. But I feel like the British mysteries tend to unfold very monotone and very like slow paced. And all you feel is like it's a chilly, muddy, cold winter day as they're unraveling all of these things in this mystery. And that's how I felt the entire book was. Like I need some quick pace some action at different points to keep me kind of like held, and then okay, we can coast again, and then get me again, and then we can coast again a little bit with the information. But this was very conversational, very, I feel like too authentic to what an actual investigation would look like. Talking to this person, talking to that person, getting input from this person, going back to that person. It kind of felt like that. And I feel like I needed more action. And maybe it's just my interpretation, but I needed more. So I'm going to be selective about the one that I pick next to read because I don't want to dislike them. If I had to give this a rating, I would say 3.5. Maybe a 3.5 for me because it wasn't a bad story. It was just very monotone. I need a big reveal. So, yeah, I'm hoping the next one turns out to be a little bit better. If they all turn out to be similar, it'll still be a good story to read. It's just I won't be in love with them to keep them on my shelf. Okay, friends, so that is it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.